cold wind pushed dust across the old wooden porch as Ethan Cole stepped outside his small cabin. He lived far away from the town, deep inside the quiet forest. Nights here were calm, silent, and empty. But today, something felt different. Something was watching. Ethan stood still, listening. The wind stopped. The forest became too quiet. Then a soft thump hit his porch. He spun around. There, lying on the ground, was a woman. Her skin shimmered like pale silver under the moonlight. Her hair glowed faint blue like falling starlight. And her eyes, half open, looked at him with fear and pain. She whispered only 2 words before fainting completely. "I'm hungry." And then she collapsed against his door like she had traveled a long, impossible journey. Ethan froze. This was not a normal human woman. Her features were too delicate, her skin too smooth and bright, her clothes too strange like thin metallic sheets wrapped around her body. He slowly knelt beside her. She was cold. Very cold. And she was trembling. Something inside Ethan refused to leave her like this. Whoever she was, whatever she was, she needed help. He carefully lifted her into his arms and carried her inside. The stranger in the cabin, Ethan, placed her on the couch and covered her with blankets. She looked weak, almost weightless. Her breathing was light, almost fading away. He tried to shake her gently. "Hey, can you hear me? Stay with me." But she didn't move. He searched his kitchen quickly. He only had simple food: bread, warm soup, fruit. He brought everything to the table, not knowing what she could eat. When he touched her wrist to check her pulse, he felt something strange. A soft hum under her skin, like energy moving through her veins. She wasn't human. He knew it, and yet, she looked scared, lost, alone. So Ethan made a decision. He would help her, no matter what. He held a spoon near her lips. When the smell of warm soup reached her nose, her eyes opened halfway. She blinked slowly at him, confused but desperate. He helped her sit up. She took one small sip, then another. And suddenly, her hands grabbed the bowl with surprising strength. She ate like she had not eaten in days. Warmth returned to her face, and her silver blue skin glowed softly under the cabin light. When she finally stopped, she looked at Ethan with wide, grateful eyes. Her voice was soft, almost musical. "You saved my life." Ethan gave a small smile. Anyone would have done that. "No," she whispered shakily. "No one else would. Not on this planet. My name is Lyra." After a long moment of silence, she spoke again. "My name is Lyra," she said, placing a hand on her chest. "I am far from my world, far from my family. I was hunted in the woods, chased, hurt." Ethan leaned in. "Hunted? By who?" She shook her head. Her hair glowed brighter with emotion. "Not humans. Creatures from your forest. They attacked my ship. I escaped and ran, until I could not run anymore." Her eyes locked on his. "I was dying at your door." Ethan felt something heavy in his chest. She had come close to death only a few feet from him. If he had opened his door, even a few minutes later, Lyra would not be here. She looked around the cabin slowly, studying the walls, the fireplace, the wooden floor. "This place," she whispered. "It feels safe." Ethan nodded. "You can stay until you recover." Her gaze softened, surprised and warm. "You would let a stranger stay in your home?" "You're not a stranger," Ethan said gently. "Not anymore." Midnight fear. When night grew deeper, rain started hitting the windows. Thunder rolled above the cabin. Ethan made another blanket bed on the couch, but Lyra shook her head weakly. She pointed to the floor beside the couch. "I cannot sleep alone tonight," she whispered, trembling. "Darkness reminds me of the creatures." Ethan nodded. "I'll stay nearby. You're safe now." He sat on the chair next to her and kept the fire burning bright. Lyra watched him for a long time, her glowing eyes full of relief. Slowly, she fell asleep, but Ethan did not. He kept hearing sounds outside, branches cracking. Strange footsteps, the same feeling he had before she arrived. Something watching. He held an old rifle in his hands. Ready. Hours passed. Just before dawn, Lyra's voice broke the silence. "Ethan." He turned. She was awake again, staring at him with a strange mix of fear and affection. "You stayed," she whispered. "Of course," he said. Her voice shook. "I have no one on this world. No friends. No home. No family left." She reached toward him, her hand trembling. "But you feel like family." Her words hit Ethan's heart deeper than he expected. Family. He had lived alone for so long that he almost forgot what that word felt like. He placed his hand over hers lightly. Gently. "You're not alone now," he said. Days of healing. Lyra stayed in the cabin for the next several days. Ethan cooked for her, helped her walk, and even learned a few things about her kind. Her people were peaceful travelers, never meant for war, never meant to hurt. She was a healer on her world, someone who helped others, not one who fought. But here, she had no one to protect her, except Ethan. As she grew stronger, her natural glow grew brighter. Her energy returned. She moved gracefully, like her body was made of light and air. She laughed softly when she tasted new food, or when Ethan showed her simple human tools she had never seen before. Every night, she would sit near the fire, her eyes watching Ethan with a warm, peaceful expression. "You saved me," she would say again and again, "and I'll keep you safe." Ethan would reply every time. Their bond became stronger with each meal, each word, each shared moment of silence. The attack one night, when everything seemed peaceful. The forest exploded with noise. A deep, monstrous growl echoed through the trees. Lyra froze. Her eyes widened with fear. "They found me." Before Ethan could ask anything, a massive shadow crashed against the cabin door, shaking the whole house. Ethan grabbed his rifle. Lyra stood behind him, shaking but determined. The creature outside snarled, scratched, and rammed the door again. "Stay behind me," Ethan ordered, but Lyra placed a glowing hand on his. "Back. No, we stand together." The door burst open, and a huge beast with 4 glowing eyes charged. Inside. Ethan fired. Lyra unleashed a burst of blue light from her palms. They fought side by side. When the creature finally collapsed, Ethan turned to her, breathing hard. "You have powers," he said. She nodded weakly. "Only when protecting family." And she looked directly at him. Chosen family. After the fight, the forest went silent again. Ethan patched the door. Lyra cleaned his cuts with gentle, glowing hands. "You risked your life for me," she whispered. "You risked yours first," he replied. Lyra placed her hand on his cheek, warm and glowing. "In my culture," she said softly, "the one who saves our life becomes part of our soul family. It is not a bond of blood. It is a bond of heart." Ethan swallowed. "And what does that mean for us?" She smiled, a soft, beautiful smile that made the room feel brighter. "It means you are family to me now, Ethan." She leaned against him. Her voice was full of trust, affection, and peace. "And I will stay by your side, as long as you want me to." Ethan wrapped his arm around her gently. "I want you to stay," he whispered. The fire crackled softly. The forest outside was quiet again. And for the first time in many years, Ethan didn't feel alone.